West Virginia was very, very awakening. When you leave places like Bluefield, and the closer you come to McDowell County, everything changes. Not only are there broken houses, there are broken people. The kids here, they believe that they're poor because they're told that they're poor. She looked at me and she said, "Are you gonna leave like everybody else does?" And she was just waiting for me to say that I was gonna stay, I was gonna stay. McDowell County is a place that you can't feel it with your head, you have to feel it with your heart.
Are you from this area as well, from McDowell County, or?
Oh no. I've been here in McDowell County for 9 years. Father's Day weekend will be 9 years. This is a total different world in which I come from. I knew nothing about what Jack did. I had never heard of it in my entire life. I come from a town in Virginia. A gentleman had come, I own restaurants, and he had come in and he was telling me about mission work. And I'm just looking at him like he's totally insane. And he was talking about going, places, which I had heard about mission work abroad and things like that, but never right here. I'm from Virginia, and he said he was going to the Appalachian Mountains. And I said, for what? And he says there's a lot of poverty there. And I'm thinking, okay, I live in Virginia. West Virginia is right. Why don't I know about this? What is wrong with my life that I don't know that these things are going on so close to me? And so I asked him, I said, well, how do you find out about these mission trips? And he said, just Google Appalachian mission trips and it'll bring up something. And I did. And it brought up School for Life. And I contacted Jack. Drive up here was treacherous. I just knew I was going to die any moment. I had never seen roads winding, turning, twisting, tearing, or whatever. And then you don't have any cell phone service or nothing like that. So, you're like, okay, I'm going to die and nobody's going to find me because I can't use my cell phone to tell them I'm dying, that kind of thing. But when I did finally make it here to School for Life, and it was right in the middle of the summer season, there were people everywhere and people were busy. They were gathering tools and they were running around and they were doing all kinds of things. And I was like amazed. It's 100 degrees out here. You can't get nobody to do this where I come from. You're just not going to happen.
So you left your restaurant and you came here to see how things are here, just to check it out.
Yeah, because like I said, I didn't believe it. I really and truly didn't believe it. And so, like I said, and I met Jack, and he it took me in and he introduced me to a few people and everything. 2 little local kids came in and he introduced me to them. And one of the little girls, she looked at me and she said, "Are you going to leave like everybody else does?" And I'm just standing here, and this little girl's standing, she's waiting for an answer. And she's probably about 8 or 9, and she just stood there and she looked at me. And I said, well, sweetie, I said, I just came here to look. And she said, well, what did you come to look at? That's what she said. And she said, are you like everybody else who comes here, makes fun of us, and then they leave like that? And I told her, I said, well, I'm going to be here a few days. I said, while I'm here, we can hang out. And so we did. And she came every day and we hung out and everything. And I got to know the people, meet some of the people in the neighborhood. And the day that I was about to leave, she didn't come. And so I asked Jack, I said, do you know where she lives? And he said, yeah. And he showed me where she was. And I went to the house and I knocked on the door. So she came to the door and she said, are you going to stay? And I said, honey, I promise you. I said, I don't know when, but I'm going to come back. And she said, well, why did you even bother to come by? And she just turned and she walked away. So on the way back home, all I could see was that child's face. And she was just waiting for me to say that I was going to stay, I was going to stay. So when I got back to Virginia, I had made a decision that I was going to come back to McDowell County. West Virginia was very, very awakening because, like I said, not only does the scenery change, when you leave places like Bluefield, and the closer you come to McDowell County, everything changes. The terrain changes, the look of the people change. Everything is broken. It has this broken look to it. Not only are there broken houses, there are broken people, see? And so it was like it was an awakening. Like, how do you be so close to something and not know that it's going on? Because you don't choose to see it. And that's what was the case with me. I didn't know about it because I didn't want to know about it. It didn't affect my life, so, what difference does it make? But then once I got here and I saw it, it was an eye-opening experience. You have to realize God orders your steps. You might not know it, but he does. He will put you where you need to be. Not only to change your life, but to change someone else's life as well. This is the most non-prejudiced place you'll ever. Everybody is loving, kind. They're just good people. But also they come from a different world than I do. So it was a very hard adjustment. Everything here moves very slow. Everything moves compared to what I was used to. And I had a very hard time getting adjusted to it because I couldn't understand it. And then God spoke to me one day and he said to me, he said, wait a minute, Marjie, they didn't come into your world, you came into their world. So the one that has to make the change is you.
What's the best part of your work?
With the children, like I said, when I came here, like I said, and Jack he gets all credit for starting this. And I came in and I helped him, and I implemented a lot of programs working with the kids. The kids here, they believe that they're poor because they're told that they're poor. One of my first girls that I worked with in my Sunlight Ministry, and she walked up to me one day and she said, Miss Marjie, I am poor. And I said, no, you're not. And her eyes got just as big. I said, no, you're not. And she says, well, they tell me I'm poor. I said, you're not old enough to be poor. And she just sat there and she just looked at me and she said, what? I said, you're not old enough to be poor. I said, you may live in a family or a situation where money's not ready. I said, but you get up, get grown, get on your own, then you can determine if you're poor or not. And it's like a light bulb just came on in this child's brain. And she went home and she told her mother. She said, Miss Marjie said, I am not poor. Her mother called me. She said, did you tell her she wasn't poor? I said, I sure did. I said, she said, why? I said, because she's not. I said, the only reason why she's poor is because you tell her she's poor. You ever heard the story of Dolly Parton? Dolly Parton was very poor, but she never knew she was poor because her family never told her she was poor. She thought she had everything in the world. And that's what if what you are told you believe. If you tell a child that they're poor, if you tell a child that they're so, that's what they believe. But you come around, you say, no, you're not poor. And it was like a new beginning for this child. But she had been told that her whole life, we're poor, we're never going to have any money, you're never going to be this and all that stuff. All that stuff is learned. Speak the opposite. Like Jack always tells, you're going to have what you say. That's what the Bible says. If you say you're happy, you're going to be happy. If you say you're in pain, you're going to be in pain. Come against that kind of stuff. I teach Sunday school at the nursing home here, which COVID-19 took a lot away from me. But my Sunday school class, they were never allowed to wear hospital gowns, bedroom shoes, or any of that kind of stuff. They had to get up, get dressed, come in looking like, if God is good to you, you better start looking like he's good to you. And the kids here, like Jack said, these children, we have businesses. We have 3 businesses. We have an ice cream Jesus, we have a nail shop, we have a gift shop. Those children run those shops. Marjie don't run those shops.
That's right here in this
school,
building.
yes, yes, all 3 of our businesses.
The customers come here?
Yeah, we serve the mission teams. The mission teams that come here, and for the summer, we serve them. And we make our own T-shirts. And it's like, I teach my children that everything is worth something, including you. Including you.
So people can order T-shirts from you guys?
Yeah. They would have to tell me what kind of screen and stuff to order the screen printer. Yeah, we have a screen printing T-shirt room here.
Have the equipment?
Yes, sir.
It's like a business, but with additional benefits. They actually helping these kids and helping people opposed to...
Yeah, the kids, like I said, the kids serve the 600 that'll be here starting next week till August. Every week that we open up our gift shop, we serve ice cream, we sell our T-shirts and all that stuff to these visitors. These kids make very, very good money. They really and truly. And the nail shop, it's not that the kids do the nails all that great, but some of them do. It's the time that you spend with that child. And then you can find out what's on this child's mind. Like I tell people all the time, you know, we get a lot of donations and stuff, which is great for the community. But also, while you're sitting clothes, sit a book, become a doctor, something like that, and plant a seed. That works as well. You know, give me a shirt, let me give you a book too, to put something to determine what you want to do with your future.
You feel like your life is on purpose now that you've started this mission?
Well, yeah, I do. But, you know, you have to look at the way that, you know, I always think about how Jesus was constantly on the move. He never stayed in one place too long. He was always out looking and searching. And that's the way McDowell County is. McDowell County is a place that you can't feel it with your head. You have to feel it with your heart. You know, McDowell County, once you come into McDowell County and you meet the people and you see the circumstance, it touches your heart. See, if it only touches your head, you can think about it, well, hey, I don't worry about it. But once you see the people and see the beauty that's here in not only the mountains, but the people that live here in the mountains, then you'll never forget McDowell County. You'll never forget it.
What's your long-term mission and goal in life?
My long-term mission and goal in life, I do not know. You know why I do not know? Because God has not laid it before me right now. You know, he'll tell me. And like, I'm a very spiritual person. I'm the kind of person that will pour a cup of coffee and say, okay, Jesus, have a seat. Me and you need to have a talk because I ain't getting this. All right. And if I don't get the answer today, okay, here I am again. I'm right back here. I'm still waiting, you know. I'm that kind of person, you know. You going to show me. You going to show me because, you know.
I'm not leaving.
Oh, no. If you don't get it today, you know, I'll get it tomorrow. Well, okay, I'll be back tomorrow, okay. And then eventually he'll show me what the answer is. Now, I might not get it. It might take maybe a week of coffee and everything, but I ain't going to let it go. And so that's what you have to do. And I tell the kids, you can be whatever you want to be as long as you want to be it. But if you say, I don't want to be anything, then you're not going to be anything. And see, I'm not a patter and a babyer and all that kind of stuff. It's just not in me. And like you know, the homeless people and the people that come here that are on drugs, I don't understand it. I don't. I've never been on drugs. So I'm kind of like, okay, I know you've been there. Okay, now what are you going to do about it? See, that's the approach to that. I can't. And that's one of the conversations I've had with the Lord. It's okay, Lord, you got to show me this because I'm not getting it, okay? I can't, it's just not in me because I've never experienced it, you know? So to me, it's like, okay, well, what are we going to do? How are we going to move past this, you know?
Moving forward.
Yeah, we're going to move forward here. We're not going to keep going back, well, I did this, okay, that's over with, okay. What are we going to do tomorrow? It's not that we got to take a big step. We can take one little step today and another little step tomorrow. Eventually, we'll get on the journey that we need to be on. You know, like that, you know. And I do feel bad sometimes that I just don't have it. It's just not, and maybe it's not meant for me to have it, you know. Maybe I'm the one that's supposed to just speak it out and say, okay, this is not working. What are we going to do to make a change?
What message do you have for any kids that are watching this in McDowell County?
Oh, well, the kids in McDowell County know me. Most of them do. They know that I expect the absolute best out of them. I don't expect, no, I can't do it. I don't know how to do it. If you can't do it, it's because you don't want to do it. If you don't know how to do it, it's because you haven't found a solution to do it. They know I expect them to be the very best that they can be. And there's nothing, absolutely nothing they can't do if they put their minds to it. And guess what? School for Life is sitting right here to help you. So you don't have any excuses, none whatsoever.
Wow, I love it. Thank you so much, Ms.
Oh,
Marjie.
you're welcome.
You're an inspiration.
Well, thank you very much. You know, people often tell me, said, I don't know how you do what you do. And I tell them, and why don't you do what I do? And they just look at me, they said, well, I don't know how. See, that's right, you don't know how. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to meet you.
And just one last question. If people wanted to reach out to you and contact you and connect with you, and how would they reach out to you?
Well, the name of my ministry is Sunlight Ministry. You can reach me at P.O. Box 7, Gary, West Virginia, 304-448-2309. And just ask to speak to Miss Marjie. I'll be glad to speak with you and help you with anything to help me, okay, in our ministry.
Wow. Thank you so much, Ms. Marjie.
Thank you.
God bless you. Thank you so much.